cool, different interface. This is exciting. Hello, everyone, wherever you are in time and space when you watch this. Could be live, could be in the future. I am going to be joined with astrologer Celeste Brooks to discuss the solar eclipse in Libra, which I am already looking forward to. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I bet, Celeste, you're amazing. Excited. Okay, standing by in one. Celeste, I hit accept. Oh, hold on a minute. Hey,
Ah,
baby, how are you?
good. You are looking so good. I love the
Do you like it?
yes.
Oh, because you know what? I don't know if I'm cutting it correctly, but your girl tried. I tried. It's a whole thing. Thank you,
I
Celeste.
think you
That
look
means so much to me.
amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. That means so much to me, my Aries moon. Well, speaking of Aries, not like you need any definition or disclosure, but Celeste, would you mind just quickly introducing yourself for the people that are here? And then we'll get right to the good stuff.
Yes, I'm Celeste Brooks of Astrology by Celeste, an astrologer, a coach, and an intuitive.
Three.
And my podcast is the Celestial Insights Podcast. I'm a board member for uh, the Organization of Professional Astrology and a
Okay.
faculty member for Kepler College.
Thank you, baby. Okay. And by the way, you are always looking so beautiful, daughter of Venus, Taurus, Sun.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you,
So
thank
hair
you.
looks great. Love the lipstick. Let me see the zoom in on the necklace. Let's lift it up. Let me see your necklace.
Ah,
Oh, okay,
yes.
beautiful. Okay,
Little
okay.
pearly looking
All
pearls.
right.
Yes.
Okay. We're giving Libra accessories.
Yeah, I'm
Thank
trying
you.
to. Yes, very Libra, very
Yeah.
demure, very nice.
That's right. Did you just get your hair done? You look like you just got back from the beauty parlor too. You look
I did
gorgeous.
not. No,
Oh,
no, no. But I did it myself.
wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful. Hey, listen, DIY, okay? Clearly, I should stop doing that, but we'll get to that later. So I just thought what we could do, because folks are joining us with different levels of astrological insight. We'll try to keep some of this foundational, and then we'll go to more of the advanced ideas. But Celeste, can we just sort of begin with the one, two, three ABCs of eclipses? Because I know that this is such a passionate concept of yours. So why don't we begin learning from you first there, whenever you're
Yes.
ready?
As a Cancer rising, I love talking about the
That's
moon.
right,
Yes. And
baby.
so
That's right.
eclipses, they're either new moon eclipses, which are solar eclipses, or full moon eclipses, which are lunar eclipses.
Okay.
And they are triggered so we're having a solar eclipse on Wednesday,
That's right.
where the sun, the moon, and the earth will all be in a line. And essentially what happens is the moon cuts off the signal between the sun and the earth. It's like changing the channel. I like to say when we walk through a door, we turn around and there's a wall. New moons are
Right.
when things are seeded, and full moons when they come to culmination and all is illuminated. So, and
Mm.
eclipses work together. And so, with what we've experienced this cycle, is we had a lunar eclipse first in Pisces,
That's right.
and then next we're having a solar eclipse in Libra. So there was these big events, and we could talk about some of the things that happened in the news
Yep.
of the nature of Pisces and Virgo, because the sun was in Virgo and the moon was in Pisces. And
Mhm.
then on Wednesday, we'll have a solar eclipse where the sun and moon are both in the sign of Libra at 10 Libra. So you can look
Oh.
at your chart, and
Hmm.
especially if you have anything between 9 and 11 Libra, but even 5 and 15, I would think there
Mm.
may be a story in your life, which you may already know because eclipses can come in like 6 weeks in advance. And Libra rules relationships,
Mm.
diplomacy, contracts. Um, what else would I say? Beauty, culture, art, these are some of the topics that
Yeah.
Libra rules. Justice. Hmm.
Diplomacy, yeah,
Yeah,
right.
diplomacy.
Where,
It's the sign
where
of
in the
balance.
world would we need some more of that, Celeste? Gee, I wonder. Go ahead.
Well, it's a south node solar eclipse. So the nodes
Mm,
are
yes.
their points, the nodes of the moon, and the north node is currently in Aries and is amplifying Aries things, which includes war and conflict, but encouraging us to be courageous and pioneering and
Yep.
independent. And the south node is in Libra, draining Libra topics like diplomacy and collaboration,
Mm,
and it's just harder to get to the we can see in the war happening,
mm.
the ceasefires. From There's so many wars across the
I
world that are,
know. I
I mean,
know.
it's just
It
horrific. It's,
is.
it's just so horrific what we're
It's
seeing.
unconscionable. Yeah, it
Mhm.
really is in so many ways.
Yeah.
Oof, yeah, and you could also track, as I remember, and we want to handle this really delicately and carefully. You can track October 7th, 2023 to the solar eclipse that we had in Libra
last
back a year ago. Go ahead.
Yeah, so last year, yeah, there was October 7th, and it was a week before the solar eclipse in Libra. Um, and at that time, it was Mars square Pluto, one of the most intense energies that we can experience, because Mars rules conflict and violence, and
Mm,
Pluto is the higher octave of Mars, where there can be just like massive catastrophe
oof,
and devastation and brutality and all of that kind of stuff.
yes,
Hmm.
which we are unfortunately seeing a bit in Lebanon as well. So
Yes.
for our friends who are in Beirut and anywhere in Lebanon, we are sending you as much protective energy as possible, and we are here to listen and hear anything that we should know about that. So,
Yeah.
Celeste, would it be okay? Do you want to say any more about that before I just cover maybe a quick little retrospective so we can have people understand the pre-existing eclipses in this axis?
Oh
Is
yeah,
there
please.
anything more you want to say?
I think I said. I mean, well, we'll get to how the two
Yeah,
work together later.
great.
So yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead, and
right.
you say your thing.
I just want to make it clear for folks who are, again, joining us regardless of where they're at in the astrological school of thought, that we already had two eclipses this year alone on this Aries Libra axis point. So the first one was on March 25th, which was the lunar eclipse in Libra. And then 2 weeks later, we had that solar eclipse in Aries on April 8th. So you want to look at 6 months ago, which eclipses always operate in a 6 months frequency. Look at what began then and see if it's reaching some sort of culmination today, because there's a lot of context, color, and connective tissue to what occurred 6 months ago that I think is really important to identify and implement before the solar eclipse in Libra on October 2nd. Would you say that's a fair assessment?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. When eclipses open, a solar eclipse opens a cycle that there can be events to the day or right around there,
Yeah.
but for the 6 months after, you can see events coming up until the next solar eclipse. So,
Yeah.
with if anything big happened in your life, you can always like go back and just look at the eclipse that preceded the event around your chart,
Yeah.
and you will see a nature of the story. Hmm.
Yes. And why don't we maybe at this point cover the Aries Libra integration story, right?
Hmm.
So, because I'm sure you maybe already know, just based on our friendship and our professional understandings of each other's work, I absolutely love the six pairs of opposites.
Hmm.
So, how would you illustrate the very first pair, Aries and Libra?
Yeah, so this is the axis of relationships. So Aries' tagline is I am, and Libra's tagline is I partner. And so there's the nature of like, how do you balance these things? Think about
Yes.
all the changes, new relationships you've started since last year, or ended since last year. Yeah. And think
Mm,
about how so many people have been releasing shadow Libra topics of people pleasing, just going
whoop.
along to get along, But we've seen an increase also in like tactlessness and shadow Aries things as being rude or inappropriate.
I love it.
Yeah.
A part of me just absolutely loves that kind of Aries, boom, wake up. I absolutely love it. And yeah, I also think of the Aries Libra story as how the Aries self is made in relationship. I think what's so popular on, the kind of social media zeitgeist is that the self is kind of constructed in isolation or in solitude. I got to learn to love myself and know myself independently, separate from you, which there are, of course, appropriate times and places for that. But I actually believe that Aries Libra teaches us, no, I become myself because I am friends with Celeste.
Yes, we
Or
learn our biggest lessons through relationships.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the crucible. I'm so glad you could do this alone. Not really that challenging. Go
Yeah.
ahead and do this to your father that you haven't spoken to in 3 years over some petty bullshit that happened over the
Yeah.
holidays. And then let
Yes.
me know if you really know a thing or two about spirituality, baby.
Yes.
But anyway, let me not be Aries rude. Okay? No, no, no. You know
Sometimes
how I
we need
feel.
Aries bluntness
Uh,
and directness.
Okay. And, I said this to an Aries friend of mine yesterday. I am so flattered because Celeste, when people have to guess my zodiac sign, they go, "Are you an Aries?" And I'm like, "No, but thank you so much for thinking so." No, but I love them. Okay. But
Oh my
anyway,
God, you're so Gemini.
I know. Yeah, you're like, if only they really knew you. Okay. Zipping around airports with me and my bitches. How much fun did we have? Real quick, how much fun did we have over the last 4 or 5 months together all over the
We
world?
have had so much fun at Norwalk, in
Sedona,
Seattle,
Seattle, Sedona.
Sedona, Arizona, England.
We've been everywhere together.
It has been a ball. And can I just
Yes.
plug? So Colin and I are both speaking again next May at Norwalk in Seattle for astrology enthusiasts or professional astrologers. I really encourage you. You can't sign up yet, but to consider going. It's such a wonderful
Uh,
conference. It's always so enriching,
yes. Yes.
intellectually, as well as like you make amazing connections with people
True.
and have so much fun tearing up the dance floor. We have torn up 3 dance floors, I think.
Worldwide, baby. Okay. That's right. That's right. Having the best time. Yeah. So NORAC 2025, usually around Memorial Day.
Memorial Day
So,
weekend. It's
yeah,
always Memorial Day
right.
weekend.
So the
It's
third to
in
last week
Seattle.
of May, in
Yeah.
Seattle, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Yes. Okay. So now, should we go right into maybe should we pick up with the lunar eclipse in Pisces, or do you want to continue? Do you want to commence the conversation on the solar eclipse in Libra right away? How would you like to do
Well, I
this?
want to say a few things about dates as
Oh, please do.
well. So, eclipses have two types of cycles. One is metonic, when you
That's
have
right.
this an eclipse at the same degree every 19 years. So, 1986, October 3rd, 1986, and 2005, there were solar
1986. Okay.
eclipses at 10 degrees of Libra. So you can think back to those times and think about what's happening now in your life that kind of rhymed with
Mm,
what was going on back then. It won't be the same because the planets keep moving.
right.
But let's think about the United States. There was a solar eclipse at 10 Libra in 2005, Hurricane Katrina, and this year,
Mm,
Hurricane Helene. And the Saturn of the United States is at 14 Libra, and Saturn rules structures and it rules hardship. And yeah, we're seeing all of this devastation. And the lunar eclipse was at 25 Pisces, which is opposite the natal Neptune of the United States. And we are in a Neptune opposition. And you can think about just water everywhere,
oh, oh,
structures washing away. I mean, this astrology is absolutely literal.
Yeah, it really can be. It's amazing.
Yeah,
And yeah, so yeah, 1986, folks, if you feel like seeing how history was instructed. And then you also said 2005. So for those
2005.
of us who were conscious
That's when
of,
it's,
go
yeah,
ahead, baby.
that was when Hurricane Katrina
That's right.
happened.
That's right. And so you're locating these eclipses in that sequence. Is that correct?
Hmm. Yes, and one of
Mm,
the reasons, and also you have to think about last April 8th, we had a solar eclipse that went
hmm
across the United States, and I
mm.
haven't been able, had time to track the path, but it'll be interesting to see how the path lines up with the storms that we're having right now, because you can see that, yeah.
Damn, Celeste.
Mhm,
I love the way that you, yeah, just bring such like ethical prediction
mhm,
to
mhm.
astrology. So thank you for putting that context together. And let me just ask you this, kind of on a Sagittarian approach, right? So not what's the use, but what's the utility around seeing these stories together? What do you find is helpful about positioning these events together in a kind of, yeah, in a narrative? Why is that helpful for you?
Mm-hmm. And you mean the eclipse earlier this year, or are you
Oh
talking
yeah.
about the Metonic
The
cycle?
the
Any
the
cycle.
metonic cycle, any cycle, like why is it beautiful, or let me not use that adjective. Why is it useful for you to
Well,
see these things as a cycle? Go ahead, honey.
preparation to understand
Mm,
what has come up before. I mean, I feel like it's so much learning for yourself. I mean,
mhm.
if our governments use these cycles, they would be preparing for things. Like, can you imagine if our government, I mean, use this to know that, okay, there can be events that impact the
Mm,
structures of our
right.
country. We had that, you don't know necessarily, I mean, with they could probably narrow things down, but you're not going to know necessarily that bridge collapsed on the lunar eclipse in March 25th
That was
exactly.
wild. Yeah.
But you can think about what do we need to do to prepare for bigger storms that will be
Yeah.
coming. Do we have hubs where we keep supplies?
Mm,
What do we invest in our FEMA in order to be able to faster respond to people in distress? I mean,
yes.
I just posted something. These students at Appalachia University um, were completely unprepared for the storm, and the administration didn't help them, and people and wouldn't allow people to eat because they couldn't pay for it because the power was out,
Oh
and now their
no.
kids without food,
Food.
without shelter. It's just insane.
Oof.
And it's
Oof.
going to be part of the scandal of this eclipse happened in the ninth house for the United States. The ninth house rules higher education. I think we're going to be hearing a lot of stories around universities for various reasons, overseas things,
Yeah.
religion. I mean, these are the topics that
Coming
we're
up.
focusing on, and that's what astrology
Yes.
does. It helps us focus in on
Yes.
things, learn things
Yes.
deeper in order to make better decisions going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that no, beautifully summarized, especially the preventative approach. And I think when we wonder, one of the most significant spiritual symbols, right? It is a circle. So I think what's beautiful about seeing these times in a sequence is we're holding that the fact that it's a spiral, it's a cycle. We're always, A Course in Miracles says all life is a set of lessons faithfully rehearsed. We're just constantly going back and returning. And astrology will tell you what sequence to look at, like Hurricane Katrina, right? And seeing, oh, was there another institutional unpreparedness to these environmental disasters like there was in 2005?
Mhm.
And also, are there specific populations that are underserved, vulnerable, and less likely to receive the government support that they did, like we saw with Katrina? Right.
Mhm.
So, yeah, thank you for bringing the circle as the awareness. And then Jess had said that Western spirituality is all about damage control, whereas Eastern spirituality is all about preparation and pattern recognition. So, yeah.
That's what astrology is, pattern
Yes, baby.
recognition. And it, yeah,
Yes.
can help you prepare,
Yes.
like getting supplies. Oh, there's another cycle. So the
Yep.
Metonic cycle is when it happens on the same day. The Saros series are a series of eclipses that start either at the North Pole or the South Pole, and then they reoccur every 18 years and 9 to
Mm.
11 days. And they have the same nature. Bernadette Brady, in her book Predictive Astrology, um, did the birth chart of each of these cycles, and they're so accurate, and they
Oh,
last like
wow.
1,300 years. So this Saros cycle is 8S, and it's of the nature of um, separation and loss. So it's a more difficult eclipse. Some of them have better, more positive. Now, this doesn't mean everyone's going to have separation and loss, but
Mm.
we're seeing this amplified at this time.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
physical injury. So for people, I would recommend, if you're doing anything athletic, warm up first. Like, and don't
Yes.
not stretch. Because
Damn.
if your chart is activated, you could get a preventable injury. So that's
Uh-oh.
something you could think about, how you could use this
That's so
to
funny. I finally got
prepare.
back to the gym today. I'm like, ugh. And then she's like, all right, go work out. Go prepare, warm up, do your 90-90s. And Alyssa's like, I don't wanna. But then I
Don't
was like,
skip your warm up or your stress. Oh my
ugh.
goodness. Someone said they just threw their back out today.
Oh no.
Oh
Oh no.
no.
Damn, damn,
Someone
damn.
pulled a muscle while exercising yesterday. Oh, hi,
See?
Anna, Yogi around the
Yes.
world.
Oh, that's Che.
Someone's
Yeah.
watching this from the hospital on the way.
Oh my
Oh my
God, Che.
God.
Oh
The comments.
no.
Oh
Oh
my
no.
God. All these
Okay.
injuries. So,
Uh-oh.
yes.
Okay, so we're sending you all the healing energy, everybody who needs it. This is me attempting to send healing energy through this glass device. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oof. All right. Wow, wow,
Yes.
wow. Okay. Oh, damn, I'm so sorry about that. Thank you
Yes.
for
Yes.
putting that in. I'm so glad that I didn't distract you for too long. Continue, baby.
Yeah, so the dates for the Saros series, where you may have also something that comes up, where 1952, 1970, 1988, and 2006. So think about
Mm.
probably 2005, 2006. What was going on in your life? What what patterns have resurfaced? What changes do you want to make? Um, yeah. So keep that in mind with
Oh
this.
my God, I just had a come to Jesus moment. Celeste, not you reading me on here. Oh my God, because I came out then. That was my coming out year.
Wow!
Yes, yes. And I've been reflecting on how, like, sometimes I have to keep coming out, and I'm just gobsmacked by that for folks. I'm like, I'm as gay as Christmas. What are you not getting? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on here? And I'm like, am I
Some
coming out of
people
the
are
closet
still
again?
confused, Pisces.
Yes, sorry, Pisces, but it's true. You know, wow. Oh, that just gave me chills. That is wild. Okay, yeah. So people are
Mm.
talking about the transmutation. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody said, what year again in the 90s? There was something in the 90s, baby?
Oh, it was
Oh,
1988.
okay, 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 great. So the 90s gone.
There's nothing in the
Right,
90s in
because
these cycles.
it would have
Yeah.
been Virgo, Pisces, Cancer, Capricorn, yeah, Aries, Libra again. Okay, got it, got it, got it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Oh, go ahead.
And so let's talk about, so we're getting a glimpse of what is coming up next year, because on September 17th, we had a lunar eclipse in Pisces.
That's right.
And what's going to happen on January 11th, the North Node's going to switch into Pisces, amplifying Pisces topics, and
Love
the
it.
South Node is going to slip into Virgo. And the South Node's like a drain, a release point, and an earthing point. Yeah. So let's talk about what happened. So Pisces rules things like, it's a water sign. It rules spirituality. It rules drugs. It rules
We don't know anything about that.
oil is a Pisces topic. And on that date, Sean, music is a Pisces
Oh,
topic. Think about
oh
how much
my
we're talking
God.
about musicians right now.
Are you going to talk
Sean
about Pete Diddy with the thousand? Go ahead.
Sean Combs with those 1,000 bottles of baby oil. That is what came up to me. And so let's just use him as an example to talk
Okay.
about the astrology
Yes.
of how these cycles can work.
Yes.
And so last October 14th, we had a solar eclipse at, was it 23
I'll bring
Libra
it
or
up. Go ahead, baby.
21?
Go ahead.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I'll bring it
God, I
up.
can't believe I can't remember.
No, it's a, well, how many years are you in? How many time zones? Go ahead. Go
But
ahead.
anyway, Sean Combs has a Venus in Libra where it's at home, conjunct Jupiter in Libra.
Mm,
Jupiter expands things. Venus rules popularity, at home and popular. He was so popular. His white parties were the hottest ticket in town.
the freak
Jupiter, like
offs, apparently, the
yeah, what house it's in, but this was eclipsed back then, and Venus rules relationships, and that is when Cassie came out
mm,
about his brutality, and he paid her off
yeah.
right away. So that eclipse, boom, he had this new start. And in his chart, he has Mercury in the sign of Scorpio,
Mm,
opposite Saturn in Taurus. So this is
mm.
the axis, Scorpio and Taurus, pleasure, power,
There you
and
go. There you
resources.
go.
And so he used his money, his well, I mean, he is like a Mercury opposite Saturn can be someone who is very, and especially Mercury and Scorpio opposite Saturn in Taurus, very controlling around physical things. And you have this
Oh,
Jupiter Venus loving pleasure and
mm.
parties and all fashion and all this kind
Yes.
of stuff. And this is like a karmatic story. I think like the song Tyrant from Cowboy Carter makes me think of Sean Combs. And
Okay.
we saw this, him violently attacking
I
Cassie outside the
know.
elevator, all this. And now on the day of the lunar eclipse in Pisces, where the sun was on his Pluto, which is at 26 Virgo, and the moon was opposite, he was arrested. Sun on Pluto, humiliation, powerlessness, literally Virgo, his physical body. He was arrested, and as someone who likes to who enjoys being cruel to other people and doing all that stuff, it's like his karmatic takedown.
Damn,
Hmm.
damn. What do you know his nodes by any chance?
His south node's in Virgo at 19 degrees of Virgo, north node in Pisces. So, yeah, it's a nodal
Holy
story. He's got a
shit.
glimpse as he sits in prison of
Holy
what's
shit.
coming up for him next year and a half when
Wow.
the nodes
Wow.
switch. Yes. And he has
Oh,
Mars at 29 Capricorn. Pluto is on his Mars. Mars rules sex. Mars and Capricorn is about his business. We're talking about sex trafficking
oh,
as well as the
oh,
racketeering.
oh.
Pluto unearths things. Yeah, he's getting, this is also Pluto on his Mars, which it was at points last year as
Damn,
well. So this is all in the story. We don't even need
damn.
his exact birth time to see all this stuff happening to him. And on the day of the lunar eclipse, Mercury was in Virgo opposite Saturn and Pisces. And when there are patterns in the sky that reflect your chart, even just the two planets talking, so he has that natally,
Okay.
and that was in the sky, and that's the day he was, when he was arrested, and no bail. So he's just sitting in a cell with Sam Bankman-Fried down the hall or whatever.
Maybe next he's getting the jail ready for Eric Adams, maybe, I'm sure,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
but that's a whole nother
That's
kerfuffle.
another one.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yes. This
So
is,
I don't oh
oh,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
baby.
Sorry.
I was gonna say we're getting some interesting feedback
Oh,
about the like the people who are here, them having Virgo Pisces in their astrology,
hmm,
and yeah, just kind of reflecting on. Somebody had asked if we may, if this doesn't distract
uh-huh.
you, what would you recommend when it's a nodal opposition,
Oh,
right? So when it's when clients natally have a North Node in Virgo and a South Node in Pisces, go ahead if
okay.
you have anything
So
to say about that.
there's the node, the North Node will meet your South Node, and the South Node will meet your North Node. So it really gives you an opportunity to reflect on where you are on that axis. So with
Mm.
Virgo being controlling, being perfectionistic, we're thinking about the shadow energies of it, and being anxious or overworking. Like, where are you there, or are you just organized, of service, the positive high road things of Virgo?
Oh,
Helpful.
yes. Yes, 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 yes.
Yes, or a North Node in Pisces. Like, where are you in terms of using your intuition? Where are
Mm.
you in relationship to boundaries and like trust and
Yeah.
belief? And yeah, like accessing your guides or God or whatever you consider,
Mm.
your higher power thing. Drugs and alcohol. You can think of escapism. Where are you in relationship to that? Do you have a
Hello.
healthy balance between, oh, the work you do and the time you take to just be? I think are some things you can think about at that nodal reversal.
Nodal
Yeah,
reversal.
nodal
Yeah.
return, there'll be an amplification of the Pisces. So you will get opportunities that will give you the opportunity to pull towards where you're supposed to go. But
Yes.
are you going to stay stuck in your South Node and just, oh, I stepped into my South Node recently. It was not good. Yeah.
Oh, tell me,
And
tell me, tell me, because I'm always
it was terrible.
I'm a little too
I,
cozy in my Virgo
I
South
was
Node.
all turned upside down with when Uranus went retrograde, and just, oh my God. I think I told you I had my psychic opening back at the eclipses. Because the
Six
eclipses
months
in
ago.
spring,
Yeah.
my Uranus, which rules astrology, was eclipsed, but it's also can be erratic,
Mm.
and exciting, and like kind of like a little reckless and all this kind of stuff.
Not
And
my
then my
Celeste.
who is the
Uh-oh.
Sun Saturn person? Ah, acting all wild. It's not good.
What
Uh,
happened?
and my moon was eclipsed, which rules like psychic, my
Yeah.
10,000. I got all these downloads, and I'm writing, and things kept coming up that happened in the news, and because I'm a mundane astrologer. Anyway, I thought I got it under control, but that Uranus went retrograde, and boop. And so I have decided my Pisces lunar eclipse, no more alcohol. Because I have to
That's right.
have
You
a
did
clean
tell me that. You did tell me
container.
that. You did
Yes.
tell me that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah. So
yeah.
that
Good
was
for
what I
you.
decided. With eclipses, you walk through a door, you turn around, and there's a wall. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect visual. I love it so much. And all I want to do now is talk about Virgo Pisces because I'm so in that. I just left an artist residency all about ways in which to put like spirituality into practice. So how Virgo Pisces is that? That's my nodal energy. And my priestess is literally a Pisces.
Ooh,
Yeah, so
okay.
she's amazing. Her name is Iset Rose. She's just absolutely phenomenal, and I'm still in that Virgo Pisces energy. But now we should probably talk about Libra because we got
Yeah.
6 months
So
before all that
one
shit
thing to
pops off.
realize is we have to stay somewhat grounded despite this amplification of Pisces energy that's coming.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
part of why I quit drinking. Also, like, I got a little erratic and ruined a friendship, which was not good at all.
Okay.
And
Okay.
my Pluto was eclipsed. So I'm telling you,
Okay.
the sun was on my Pluto too. I was born
Hmm.
a year after Puffy. So it really brought up some plutonic topics for myself. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I mean, maybe the Libra energy could give you a time for repair.
You will see. We'll see what
Right.
happens.
Keep
Yeah.
the fingers crossed.
Well, this is so good. I apologize. It's really brought up, it's given me a preview of that Virgo South node, that things that I have to, and I'm having a nodal return next
Yeah.
year or the year after.
Right.
Like remembering, I thought I've done a lot of work releasing perfectionism, but
Mhm.
this year I've done so much overworking,
Mm.
and yeah, that I've got to stop it. I've got to
Mm.
get balance with this. Libra is reminding us to get
Yeah,
balance.
get
Yeah, so you
balance.
can see how those two and all is working together. So this was a very personal eclipse for me,
Yeah.
and I fell right into September 1st. This is how things can come happen
Yes.
before. Yes.
Uh,
Yeah. With that new
quickly.
moon was on my south node. Eclipses can come in 6 weeks before. At the
Oof.
new moon or the full moon 6 weeks before, you can start seeing stories, and you'll poof, I fell right into my south node.
As we do, right?
As we do,
We're doing the
as
best
we
we
do.
can, as
But
people
it's
have
a
said.
learning experience, and so
Yeah.
growing and doing better, and yeah,
Oof.
that's my plan to take on this thing.
Let's do it. Well, I want to actually just recommend for folks, and then I thought we could go into like maybe what Libra means in the relational context, because I had this idea that only came to me a little while ago that I want to reference with you. But for folks, when we hear about balance, like I said, my favorite concept in astrology is the six pairs of opposite signs. And I do recommend when you hear us astrologers talk about balance, number one, look at the oppositions in your chart that need to be balanced, right? So the nodes are right there. The ascendant descendant MCIC axis is there. The strongest oppositions in your astrology, right? So we're thinking of any planets that are forming oppositions to Aries, Libra, Taurus, Scorpio, Gemini, Sag, Cancer, Cap, Leo, Aquarius, Virgo, Pisces. I really love putting that forward as any kind of Libra transit homework because balance is one of these words like, okay, what am I balancing though? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and so I love actually thinking about the six pairs of polarities in astrology. Like I have Cancer Capricorn. That's why I wear the Cancer necklace that Tara all got me,
So you
right? As
fit in um a nodal square.
yeah, and a Saturn square too. So to all of my Gemini
Mm.
energy. So it's been really confronting, but it's actually been actually so gorgeous because I feel like, only at 35, I've finally been initiated to the Pisces mysteries in a small
Mm.
way, very, very small way. But I get it now, a part of it. And that's been really liberating, but anxiety inducing because it's like, I don't know
Mm.
what planet I'm on anymore. I really don't. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with
sometimes,
that.
sometimes that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and just opening myself up to, yeah, just like really getting so committed to astrology as art practice, astrology as experience, a creative approach to the system as opposed to such a concrete, certain one. And just like getting really challenged by the way that I see astrology positioned more than not, present company excluded. I'm just kind of like, what are we even saying? Half the time.
Mm.
I feel like I'm watching, tabloid news. If it bleeds, it leads. We're
Mm.
just scaring the shit out of people so we can create capital to follow my work and buy my stuff because the more I scare you, the more you rely on me. And the more you rely on me, the more money I get from you. And the more money I get. It's just like, what the fuck is going on? Anyway,
Mm.
but you didn't ask for all that.
But
Okay.
I like that. And I've really moved. So, this is something that's really, from my experience, when you first start learning astrology, the things that shout at you are when you see something and there's some big life event. And oftentimes it
Hmm.
can be something that's like a car crash, like Mars Uranus, and this happened, or
Yeah. A
the Sun
breakup.
Saturn, this
Yeah.
hardship happened. So
Hmm.
it takes time, and this is myself as well, to kind of move away from focusing on those, but figuring out all of the other ways these things can show up.
Good point.
Like with Uranus awakens you to things. Yeah, like most times, no accident happens or anything bad happens. Most times, it's just something comes to your conscious attention that wasn't there before. You realize you
Mm.
can do things in a different
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
You take risks. Yeah,
Yes.
sometimes risks pay off, sometimes they don't. Yeah, and
Yes.
we more focus on, oh, we see the risk, oh, and they fell flat on their face. Ah, that catches our attention. But there's so many
Yeah.
other ways that these things can show up.
Yes.
Yeah, so I try to really balance, like when
And you
I'm
do.
talking
No, but I
about
also
how to
think that you
focus
have
on.
an imperative to say, like, and these scary things can happen. So that's where history is
Yeah,
instructive, right? Where we could say, do we want to make the same mistake that the Bush administration made in 2005 in New Orleans?
absolutely not.
Thank you. And so
Yes.
that's where we tell the truth with a historical hindsight, but we get really generative about the present and the future. So
Mhm.
now, Celeste, may I ask you some questions that I also have about Libra? And I want to field some questions here. But are there specific points that you also want to make in the, we're already
Um,
at the 19-minute mark, if maybe you'd want to make some really specific points before I give you
okay,
some ideas that I have.
let's get into the solar eclipse. I have a bunch of things I want to make sure to
Oh, then
say
great. Go
about.
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
floor is yours, baby.
So the eclipse is conjunct Black Moon Lilith. And
Mm.
so that is kind of the divine feminine archetype of
Ah,
divine of like being like the dark feminine. Like, I'm not going to be subservient. Lilith was Adam's first wife who would not lay under him and left the Garden of Eden, or was
she
kicked
said
out, whatever you
bye.
want to say. She said, and
Okay.
you can think about there's so much demonization of women who won't be subservient or won't follow convention, you should say, like this JD Vance, who's just the gift that keeps on giving. He may be the main reason that Kamala Harris is the next president of the United States with his childless cat ladies comment. That is like Lilith energy. That's also
Mm.
the Uranus, which rules elections and abortion, is conjunct the fixed star Algol, which is the Medusa mythology,
Ah,
which is
nice.
Lilith mythology. Of the things about women, a woman standing in her power that scare the bejesus off out of weak men. Like if they
Mm.
can't control you, they want to demonize you, kind of energy. And
Oh,
we're seeing that so amplified right now in the collective.
yes, yes.
Hmm.
And my
And so
friend
this
Adam Asise has an amazing Instagram profile called Lilith Astrology. Adam Asise is her name. So if you want to check her out, she has Oracle card decks, books. Yes,
Adam
just wanted to.
Cisse,
Yes.
I need to check that out.
Love her.
And Venus rules Libra. So Venus is currently in Scorpio, ruling this eclipse.
Boy,
And
is it
Venus
ever.
in Scorpio. Now it's the sign of Venus's detriment. She's at home in Taurus and detriment in Scorpio, where that Venus is supposed to be, pleasurable and pleasing and magnetizing and all these nice things. In Scorpio, she can be passionate. She can be ready to cut a bitch. She can be she can be ready to go to extremes to protect what's hers, and part of which is her physical autonomy to make decisions,
Uh,
for herself. So we're seeing like the divine feminine energy is going to be very, this eclipse on Wednesday is the eclipse we're going to look to about the US election, look back to. So
mm,
keep that in mind. Now, the thing that I don't love about this, we also have Mars in Cancer and Saturn in Pisces. So I talked about this on my podcast this week, the Celestial
mm.
Insights podcast. There's this grand trine in water, and I call it turbulent water, contaminated water, because Venus is in Scorpio. Mars is in Cancer. That's fall. They don't like to be there. Saturn doesn't like to be in Pisces. It's supposed to be structures, and in Pisces, they
Mm,
just wash away.
mm,
And we had this
mm.
lunar eclipse in Pisces. So there's this huge amplification of water energy. So I want people to be mindful about intoxicants. Like, really be careful. There's going to be, I'm sure, like an increase in DUIs and things like that. Take an Uber. Don't, you go to a party and there's some
Relax, everybody. Fucking take it easy. Take it easy. Yeah, go
There's
ahead.
some punch bowl. Just don't drink out of some punch bowl. Yeah,
Mm,
I said that especially for college students and college
mm, mm,
campuses. Yeah,
mm,
I think, and we can see with the storms, the swirling water energy.
mm.
October 4th through October 8th, Venus is what we call besieged.
Oh,
She meets
yes.
Saturn by trine, and trines are the nature of Jupiter, which they can be nice and abundant, but they also remove all restrictions. So you can
Oh,
think you're walking in a parking lot, there's a puddle, you slip and fall and smack, like now you're on the ground and you hurt yourself. That can be a trine.
okay.
It just happened. Your legs come up from under you so fast you don't even realize it. So
Uh-oh.
Venus, Saturn, then moves past Saturn and is trine Mars on October 8th. Mars and Saturn are the malefics, and
Mm,
there's other storms coming in this Friday.
mm.
Do not ignore it. Like, maybe even go somewhere else if you're in an impacted area, but make sure you stock up, because there could be, we have Mercury square Mars this weekend, which can be big winds and Venus besieged and all this water, like heat and yeah, I think
Yeah.
this weekend can be a problem for people with drinking
Oh,
or drugs, as
oh.
well as with literal water in terms of
Yes.
storms. And yeah,
Yes.
if you're on
But someone had
vacation,
asked if you want to take your medication, take your medication. Celeste and I are not discouraging going off any kind of pharmaceutical.
medication.
Yeah, somebody had asked, should I stop taking my pharmaceutical medication? Absolutely
No,
not.
just
We are not
don't
doctors. Go
just
ahead.
don't be forgetful and take two by accident or something
Oh,
like
good
that.
point. Like my mother almost did yesterday. Okay.
Yes, yes. No, no, this is not about your medication. This
Ma,
is about, like, I'm talking about drugs, like party drugs. And
we don't
yeah,
do
but you
that
may
around
notice,
here,
like,
Celeste.
if you take a Benadryl or something, maybe it impacts you more than it
Oh,
normally does. So just be
yeah,
mindful. Just be mindful. You may feel things more.
yeah.
Yeah. Be careful if you have allergies. If someone says, "Oh, there's no nuts in this," like, read the package yourself.
Good
I think
point.
it's
Good point.
something to think about with this energy,
I
because
love that a Taurus is like, be
there's
skeptical of these hoes.
yeah,
Okay?
there could be inflammation, like in Mars and Cancer, a problem, Mars, with your stomach cancer. So that's
Oh,
why I said that about allergies and such. You're at a
mm.
party, here, eat this, and then there's nuts in it, and then you need your
Come
EpiPen kind of thing.
on.
What I'm
Got
thinking.
it.
Yeah,
Got
so
it. Got
just
it. Got
this
it. Got it.
weekend, just be mindful. 99%, nothing's going to happen for anyone. But
Mm.
when you're aware, you could think, maybe I should not have this last drink. I
Uh,
feel fine, but I'm going to take an Uber. This is the kind
yes.
of things you can recognize, and with the astrology, avoid potential problems, is what
Avoid
I'm.
potential
Mhm.
problems
And Jupiter stations retrograde
next
on
Tuesday.
the 9th. So that's the
Hmm.
time where travel delays are possible. So
Ugh.
just be mindful to, like, get to the airport early, or don't be trying to be close running to things. And we're going to be seeing stories in the news. I think there'll be more Puffy stuff out, because Puffy, all these celebrities are going to be caught in the net
Oh,
with on
shit.
homes. Yes, they're
Yeah.
going to be. Ooh, yeah. Mark your calendar for December 6th. I think Mars retrograde is going to be like a big fish. And maybe
Okay. I'm looking
even be
forward to it,
November
but I'm
3rd when
scared.
Mars goes into Leo. Hmm.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm like, oh God, it's gonna be natally, it's gonna be retrograde my natal position.
Okay.
Okay, so we
Okay.
covered the three water signs, being careful and discerning this weekend. Anything else that you want to make sure the girlies know?
Uh, Now, Venus and Scorpio trine Mars. October 8th can also be passionate and sexy. Like, this could also be just very, very passionate and sexy. It can be, yes, I was talking about Mars and Leo. Sorry, my brain,
We're
I'm like, I'm
tracking.
like going all over the place.
We're
Sorry.
tracking, baby. We're tracking. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So this Venus, Mars, Saturn can also be very passionate and sexy, where you may be testing the boundaries. Where Venus is besieged, you and your partner may do some experimental stuff that you never did
Mm,
before, or whatever. So yeah, this is other ways it can show up.
got
Now,
it.
in the US, I'm also concerned about like nationalism rallies. You may see some goose steppers walking down some main street in some town or what have you, or people conspiring together to cause harm. This Trump and his like he will not let go of this eating the cats, eating the dogs nonsense. That was
Still?
very yeah, he's still talking about it.
Oh,
He is
oh
having
my
deranged
God.
fantasies around violence. He's like, you have to see what he was talking about, the purge, like one
I
day
did
where,
see that.
yeah,
Yeah.
his progressed moon is in Scorpio in his
Oh,
third house of the mind,
vengeance,
squaring Pluto.
vengeance.
His violent fantasies, they started with Dr. Lecter. They're just getting more and more and more expanded. I'm just waiting for it when he says something so ridiculously horrifying.
Yes.
Even some of his biggest supporters start getting scared about what's going on in his brain.
Our fellow Canadian here said your country is like a riddle. Okay. And then um, the Brits have told me before, no, you don't have politics, you have a pantomime. I don't know what's going on half the
It
time.
is
And I'm like,
so
that's true
ridiculous.
too. We do have a pantomime. I don't know what to tell you, okay? I didn't write the fucking Declaration of Independence of the Constitution. Leave me alone.
It is so
Okay.
ridiculous. I need the aliens. Somebody's calling for the
Yeah,
aliens.
for real. Yeah, take us back. No, I remember in 2016, my favorite political bumper sticker was like a giant meteor, and it literally said, Giant Meteor 2016 just ended already. And I'm like, I'm kind of,
Yes,
yeah,
Pale Sala. Hi, Pale Sala says, and
I'm,
a reality TV
it
show.
really is. I
Someone says it's
mean,
more like a puppet show. It's embarrassing.
it,
It's absolutely embarrassing.
you're like,
It's
I'll tell
like,
you what it is. It's
and now
embarrassing.
he's selling
Yeah.
$100,000 watches
Watches
that probably cost $50 made in
to make,
China.
I know. Yeah, but God bless American made products. Get the fuck out of here. All right, wait.
Watches, sneakers. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's
Can I ask you
unbelievable.
a question or
Yes,
okay?
please
Be
get me off this tangent.
right, no, no, no. I'm glad because I was like, I forgot I watched that yesterday. What I would love to review. So, folks, if you're listening here, maybe give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if I'm warm, cold, or accurate. But what I have noticed in the culture around certain relational themes currently is that people are like breaking up and leaving because folks cast them in roles they didn't audition for.
Mm.
So, right? So, like, just today I was talking to somebody whose friend treats her like she's her boyfriend, but she's like, yo, homie, we're not
Thumbs
like, I'm
up.
your
Thumbs
okay,
up.
yeah. And I'm thinking about Libra as the sign of clear, complete requests, agreements before shit goes down. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, thank you, Janelle. Thank you, friends. Right. And so I just want to name that so that people feel like they're not alone. I'm going through that right now too. And I just kind of wonder, like, how did I get into this disaster? Like, where do we go wrong with expectations a little bit, you know? And so I'm just wondering, do you have any thoughts, suggestions? I know we're just thinking out loud, and I just told you for the first time, but do you have any feedback for people who are noticing, wow, I did get cast in a role that I didn't audition for, and because I don't know my lines, the director is real mad at me, but it's like, fuck you, we never talked about this. So,
Mm.
you know what I'm
Well,
saying?
that's the North Node in Aries, encouraging you to be courageous and set boundaries uh, about relationships.
That's it.
So rather than just keep getting mad about it, I think you got to talk about it, and it can be really
Right.
uncomfortable. And sometimes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
casted
I did the
her, man.
casting. I was the one who was in the
She was the
wrong.
casting director. No
My
problem.
Uranus in
Listen.
Libra. The South Node is on my Uranus in Libra. When the South Node is coming, people can fall from a height. Yeah, and Uranus, like, just oh my God. So I,
Good.
yeah,
Well, I'm glad.
accountability. Just be accountable for what you do.
Yeah, I'm glad we're in
Yeah.
this together. And then, yeah, just
Yes.
like in case there's some, because, what I also appreciate is that some people have been posting articles about bullying and how adult
Mm,
bullying is not like you are like this kind of very direct, hostile. It's actually very passive,
that's Libra.
very
Can be.
very indirect, very
Yeah.
like, what just fucking happened? I can't quite sink my teeth into it, but something's going down. And I just kind of want to acknowledge for people who are here, like, if you're feeling like something's off, and there's just been a lot of indirect stonewalling, emotional manipulation, whatever is happening, right? Just know that you might have been, again, cast in a role you didn't audition for, and I encourage you to kind of be that Aries figure that's like, yo, I'm going to give you one more opportunity. Is there a mess we need to clean up? Or I didn't quite catch your meaning. Do you maybe want to have a conversation about expectations with me? And if that's not the case, like, you can leave. But I highly encourage you to tend to take the active stance, because passiveness leads to the bullying, the manipulation, the cloudy shit. And let's be a little bit more Aries and be like, I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch the subtext. You want to speak up and use your words? You,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, see where that goes, but in your relationship culture, so that you're not, again, just feeling this like cloudy, vague, fuzzy bullshit. I don't
Yeah.
know. What do you think?
I agree totally. Yeah, and things are. I mean, there's a South Node Libra eclipse. Some relationships are going to have to be renegotiated,
Right.
or they're going to have to end. Yeah,
Yeah. And
that could be
it's a
something.
south node, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, look, I don't love the cutoff as a first response. I definitely don't,
Yeah.
because we all get into discord, we all get into disharmony, and we
Yeah.
have to collectively talk about conflict resolution skills. And also, the solar eclipse is conjunct the south node. So things are ending and a new beginning is being born, because we're letting go of nonsense, principles, patterns, and people from the past that don't serve the people we want to become. And that's that Libra Aries energy of like, wow, I have to let you go because I can't be who I want to be and be in a relationship with you at the same time.
Mhm.
Whereas I will choose the friendships, hello Celeste, where when we go together and we're hanging out and we're in each other's lives, I get to be who I want to be, and I want to be a space for your becoming,
Yes,
right?
and you are. We're spaces for each other's becoming.
That's right,
It's so.
honey.
Isn't that
Okay.
so wonderful when we can just be ourselves,
Yes, and have a
flaws
fucking
and
blast.
all?
Okay, right, and have a blast and shove hot chili pizza down our throats in the middle of Sedona, Arizona. I'm getting sun poisoning. We went off-roading, I don't even know where. Okay? But it's, yeah, and I think, and just one more thing, something else I don't like love highlighting, but there is something to be said about, when you deepen your spiritual practice, your circle gets a little tighter.
Yes, it really does.
And I wish that wasn't the case. And then when you're like, okay, God bless, go with God, or whatever you say, the universe wastes no time bringing in the people who match your frequency and who just
Mhm.
don't get triggered by the same shit they once did, and who are just like, wait, they got mad at that? Wow, sucks to be them. So anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
But that's what I want to say.
Ooh, can I promote a couple of things before we
Fuck
end?
yeah, you can. Baby, this is your time. Okay, go ahead.
So number one, I had a solar eclipse workshop in Libra yesterday. You can go to the link in my bio or my website and get the recording. You'll learn all about this eclipse as well as some mundane events we didn't cover yet and what it means for you and your sign. If you like or need a getaway and want to learn more, October 16th to 21st,
So
I
jealous.
am at the Organization of Professional Astrology Retreat in Park City, Utah. And I still have 2 spaces for my Moon Mastery program where you'll learn all about the moon over 3 days. It is going to be spectacular.
Spectacular.
Christopher Renstrom, Ann Ortley, Rick Levine, other Kay Taylor, all these amazing Lynn Bell, all these
Kira
Sam Reynolds, all
Sutherland
these
too, right?
Kira
Kira Sutherland.
Sutherland. Ah, yeah, there's
Yes.
so many amazing
Speaking
astrologers
of Aries bitches that I fucking love,
Yeah.
okay, go ahead.
Yes. Oh, yes, she is amazing. Yes. So you can still come and join us in Park City, Utah.
Uh,
It is going to be phenomenal. If you don't want to come to my Moon Mastery, you can pick
mm,
something else, but
mm.
you're really going to get to connect with these amazing astrologers. It's
No, you
a
do not
more
have to be an
intimate.
astrologer. Somebody
Mhm.
had asked you have to be an astrologer to be
No,
there. No,
no, astrology enthusiasts.
come
My
on.
Moon Mastery program is for as long as you have like a basis, you know the signs, you're
Hmm.
going to learn everything about the moon to help you live a more grounded life, recognize your emotional triggers, learn how to nurture yourself in some new ways, and recognize like what's coming up for you.
Yeah,
The moon, the progressed moon, these eclipses, these really can help you know where to put your energy for the best success. So it's going to be, yeah, you can be. I have people take Moon Mastery who are new to astrology, intermediate, even professional astrologers have
yeah.
taken it. So
Aw.
you can go to my website, the classes page.
Mm,
Oh, and I'm teaching transits. Now this is for people who have a solid foundations in
foundation.
astrology starting October 22nd,
Love
27th
it.
for Kepler College. So those are
Love
the 3 things.
it. Celeste, I'm so fucking proud of you, my
Can
goddaughter.
you believe it,
Yes, I can. Oh,
Colin?
yes, I can. But I'm just like, yes, and I also think, your life is a testimony to moon magic.
Ah,
It is,
thank you. It
know,
is.
you,
I use the moon cycles like
too.
to retire from my corporate job early and pursue my passion for astrology. Like I threw off the handcuffs, the platinum handcuffs, and just did went on my full journey. And I used the moon cycles to cut this big objective of leaving, starting a new career down into bite-sized pieces over a
Come
couple
on.
of years. And yeah.
And
Mhm.
she's a
And
Taurus.
I'm a
So
Taurus. You don't know how scary it was. Ah, I
that's what I mean.
for like a year, I kept telling myself, I am insane. Am I crazy? What have I done? How did I leave a secure, stable job?
I love it because I hear people complaining, I'm like, no, if Celeste can do it, anybody can. Let me tell you right now, if Celeste can do
But
it,
you
I
want to
don't want to
do
hear it
it
from
in the
you.
timing that's
Yeah, that's
aligned with your
hello.
chart.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
so true. Yeah, and everybody's timing is so specific. Do you know what I was thinking about really quickly,
Oh, and
folks? I hope
anybody can
this.
come for
Oh,
a reading,
oh,
if
hello.
they want to.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I should
yes.
say
And
that.
such an incredible consulting astrologer. Really quickly, I was reflecting how when we were in England and Chelsea, our friend, who's like vibrant, bunny, fiery, da 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 da.
I
Do you
love
know what
her
I'm gonna
so
say?
much.
Oh my God, so fucking funny. And Chelsea says to Celeste, this is how Aries moon it was. So unrelated to what you were saying, it just made me laugh. Chelsea was like, well, yeah, I live in Montana. And this one says, in the middle of England, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Do you remember that? Oh my God. I'm like, I love the fix. Just, there's, like, the brain could not compute. I know where fixed
It
signs
made
go.
no sense to me.
I know. No, you turned around and told me, you gotta be fucking Montana. I know. And of course, we're the loudest people there, the American table. Oh my God. I was just reflecting on that today, like how much that made me fucking laugh. And then, like, me, okay, no, we love Montana, folks. It was just Chelsea just didn't
Chelsea
seem
does
like
not
a
belong in
material
Chelsea in Montana. They see her coming in, they're like, "What in the world?"
world.
Ah!
Right, exactly. Hey, we all have our things. Tom Ford lives there sometimes. I think so does RuPaul. Like, we all have
Oh,
our things.
yeah.
But it was just so,
But
we
I
were just
just
like this,
had
and
in my mind, she felt like such like an East Coast New Yorker. I mean,
funny you say that.
it
Funny
did
you
not
say that.
compute. It
No,
did
I
not compute.
know.
Oh, someone asked for an astrology shop in London.
Oh, the
Didn't you go to some?
astrology shop. Yeah, it's in Covent Garden. Yeah. So don't ask me about postcodes with the letters and the numbers and the this that. I don't fucking know. Okay. I am British by osmosis, but not by literal understanding quite yet. So just
Yeah.
have a Google of it. Gorgeous store, and it's been in business for 35 years since
Yeah.
my birth year, 1989. That's how I
Ah,
remembered it.
wonderful. Oh, and we should shout out the Astrology Association of
Great.
England.
Let's do it.
That
Let's
was,
do
we
it.
had such an amazing time
We
at their
really did.
56th conference.
Oh my
And I
God.
don't know if you could get my talks, but I gave a talk and a workshop for them.
Mm,
So you can check out
mm.
their website. It was wonderful. Wendy
Yes.
Stacy
Yep.
is just amazing, as well as everyone a part of that
Oh.
organization. It was such a great conference.
It was out
Hmm.
of this world. I know. I just like, I'm like, I cannot believe I get to travel to these places with my friends and be the loudest table in every dining room. Like, how did I get so lucky? Like, this is crazy. This is crazy.
I know. We
So,
had such a great time.
such a great time. So, and now, Celeste, get your ass back to the East Coast ASAP. I'm sure your family misses you. You know, Maria and I will meet you in the city. To
Yeah.
everybody else who was watching, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. We hope that this was helpful for you. Now, seeing the whole sequence of the solar eclipse in Libra. And Celeste, do you have any parting words before we let the people go?
Yes, just be aware there's a strike that may be happening with the dock workers. It's probably happening. So stock up
Mm.
on your perishables. Yeah, just to make sure. And Colin, just make sure you make me a collaborator so I can put this on my wall.
Done and done, baby. Okay. So,
Thank you so much for having me. I absolutely love
always.
you. I
I
can't
love
wait
you
till we get
more.
back together. We cannot wait till next May.
No, we're
We're
not.
gonna have to figure something out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quick. We're gonna figure something out. I'm sure
I
we'll
do need
find
to
out.
get back to the East Coast.
Everybody needs a quick download. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, software update. So, and or I think I actually might have to be at the West Coast in November. So keep you posted on that.
Please, let's get together. I have to go
You
to
already
LA
know.
for a bit too. So maybe even if
Somewhere.
you're in the LA area, let me know
Will
and we'll get
do.
together.
Will do.
Yes.
Will do. So, folks, thank you so much for watching. Happy pre-solar eclipse in Libra. Thank you, Celeste, for teaching us. And we're wishing you everything always. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Colin.
Bye.
I love you.
You're welcome. I love you
Bye.
too.
Thank you,
Bye, God's
everyone,
order.
for coming.
Bye.